What's cracking with you people? Nancy here, and welcome back to Star Fox Adventures. In the last one, we didn't get a whole lot done, and I apologize for that. I spent most of my time trying to go on tangents and whatnot, and all of these tutorials, and hopefully we'll get to a point where tutorials will be less frequent and I can get a little more in depth on the game. Anyway, this is a Firefly. It will be stored inside the Firefly lantern. Let one out when you need to see in the dark. Okay, we got that. Okay. But yeah, I should also mention, like in the last one, but yeah, in the last one we didn't get a whole lot done, and I apologize for that. That's on me. For A, not really prioritizing a lot of things that I need to prioritize properly, and B, for just kind of being scatterbrained. And that's a problem I have had. If I can pull back the curtain a little bit, the problem I have had, but problem I've noticed that a lot of old school Let's Players like Chugga Conroy and NCS and even say Anella to a point have had problems with, and that's just something you gotta practice with. You know, like I'm not gonna make excuses. It's something that I do need to get better at, and I hope to. Can I put this? Yeah, I can do that right there. And I hope to get better with that as we go through, but that doesn't change the fact that I need to get that under control. And if you're thinking about doing this kind of thing and you're not trying to pull the PewDiePie or Markiplier route with just really loud screaming all the time. Oh, by the way, I should also mention, you see this? Yeah, you don't really need the lantern a lot. You need the lantern more to see than you do to actually find the stuff. It's just lighting up dark areas. You can see the grub touch just fine. But if you're gonna do this stuff, you're gonna do more like more cerebral, informative style Let's Plays. I would recommend, as someone starting out, that you try to get yourself more cohesive. If that makes any sense, like make sure you have a plan going forward, make sure you understand the game you're playing, and make sure that you can articulate your thoughts as coherently as possible. I'm not the best doing that, so I'm just going to say thank you for subscribing, thank you for sticking around, and yeah, I know it can be annoying. But yeah, it's a thing I gotta work on. But yeah, I'm gonna hopefully as we go through the game, hopefully more and more there will be less and less tutorials, less and less pop-ups, and I can go a little bit more in depth like I would want to. Because right now the opening parts of this game are like, well, the opening parts of any RPG, in that I think like for the first 2 hours is like a slow burn, you know. I have yet to find an RPG that wasn't a slow burn in some way, shape, or form. Oh, I know exactly what I gotta do for this. Okay, and Star Fox Adventures is no exception to that. So as we go through, there will be a lot more to say and a lot more to do. But actually, now that I'm here, I might as well go ahead and take some time to actually talk about the character of Crystal. Crystal is an interesting character within Star Fox, in the sense that she's been in 2 games. She's been in, yeah, a grand total of 2 games. No, 3 games. My bad, 3 games. I completely blanked on one. And believe it or not, it's not the one you think I'm blanking on. Don't blow that up, bring that down. And like I said, she was originally going to be the sister to Saber in this game, but since she was added into the Star Fox series, that technically made her a Star Fox character, which means, if memory serves correct, that means that Rare no longer owns the character of Crystal. Put it like this: every single character that they worked on for Donkey Kong, that is now a Nintendo character. So Nintendo has the rights to those characters. I believe that's how that works anyway. I think sometimes they can do some copyright negotiations that change that around. Like the last two here. There's all 6. So you can't whack those things. Interesting. But yeah, she's an interesting character in the sense that I did not mean to do that, but you're not really gonna need fireflies that much from here on out. To give you like just enough. And yeah, so she's honestly one of my favorite characters going forward, just because of how they depict her in Star Fox Assault, which I will admit is kind of weird because how they depict her at the end of Adventures is drastically different from how they depict her in Assault. And when we get around to the end of Adventures, you'll see what I mean by that. But you know, she's one of my favorite characters from a visual standpoint because A, I like the color blue, and B, I like how they implemented her in the series because canonically to Star Fox Adventures, well, commonly to Star Fox, at some point in the series, General Pepper retires from being leader of the Canarian Army, and Peppy ends up becoming General Peppy. This is to the best of my knowledge at this point. If that's been changed at this point, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And as a result, because Peppy can't really, he's getting to a point where he really can't fly an R-wing like he used to anymore, because he was Fox's dad's right-hand man. Like those two were like tight, you know what I'm saying? But as a result, they couldn't just leave Star Fox with a 3-man squad. It's been 4-man squad since the original inception, when it was Fox's dad. Well, when it was like a Fox, a Falcon, a Toad, and a Rabbit. So they had her replace him essentially as the fourth wingmate, and I thought it was a pretty interesting way to do it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll pick that up later in a second. Later in a second. Yeah, that makes total freaking sense. We'll pick it up later. But right now, let's go ahead and save the Queen Earthwalker. Hey, you like shrooms, right?
Thank you, Fox. Thank you for saving my son and for saving me.
Okay, enough of the thanks. Now I need some help from you. Can you just tell me what's going on?
This is all the work of General Scales. He is the ruler of the Sharpclaw tribe, a nasty bunch of pirates who have always wanted to rule Dinosaur Planet. We have always been able to stop his attacks, but this time he somehow become stronger and defeated our army at the Krazoa Palace.
Right, a bad guy. But how did the planet get in such a mess?
Within the Krazoa Palace, he broke the seals of the Force Point temples.
I'm listening.
This planet is rich with a magical force, a force so strong that it is continually pushing our world apart. To stop this, 4 spellstones were placed inside the Force Point temples.
Okay, that's a bit weird, but I understand.
With the seals broken, Scales entered the temples and removed the spellstones. With nothing to hold back the magic force, the planet was torn apart.
At last, it all makes sense. So, the bad guy takes the spellstones, your planet falls apart, and I've got to find the spellstones and bring them back to the Force Point temples.
See, Mom? I told you he was good. Star Fox, yeah.
My son will remain with you, for only a dinosaur of noble birth can breathe life into the spellstones.
What? That's okay, but don't you think he's a bit young? I mean, it's gonna be very dangerous. Loads of bad guys, fighting, death.
He knows the planet well, and I'm sure he's shown you his sidekick skills.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Come on, Fox. We'll make a great team.
Okay, but if you mess up just once, I'll send you straight back to Mommy.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Now, our spies have indicated that Scales was last seen in Dark Ice Mines. I know the gatekeeper, Garunda Tay, a silly fellow, but he can guide you to the Spellstone. Go back to the Snowhorn Wastes and find him.
Got it.
And Fox, I think you'll need this. The Sharpclaws dropped it when they attacked me. Maybe it'll come in use somewhere.
Okay, enough already. Can I just get on with it?
This is a Sharpclaw prison key. The Sharpclaw must have dropped it when they attacked the Queen Earthwalker. Now that scene right there, that's more or less what I mean by the mean-spirited nature of it. Like, that entire scene is played as like a meta joke. It's like, oh look, it's always something in an RPG. You want to get right back to it, but here's something else. It's like, I get where the joke's coming from. Okay, he's asleep. Also, I want you to note, all the music's back to the original, like, stuff. That's because the Queen Earthwalker is safe. You don't have to worry about anything else anymore. Now, again, we need you to eat. But yeah, it's like that ending seems like I get the meta joke of it, but I'm not a big fan of meta humor. Or at least meta humor that's not really done well. I've seen a couple of meta jokes that are played pretty funny, but this was not one of them. And you're gonna see a lot more of that. It's like Fox is like literally she just gave you something useful. You're like, I get it. Can I get going now? It's like, have it be where it's like, if they had done that with the Snowhorn that gave you the Scarab wallet, yeah, that would have been more hilarious. It's like, yeah, like look, I'm just trying to get going, and you're giving me a wallet. But it's like you're literally giving me something that you know that we know from experience has been useful, and Fox is complaining about it. It's like, at some point, the meta humor goes from being funny to just being obnoxious. It's also one of the reasons why I could never get into Banjo-Kazooie. Like, we had it when I was younger. I remember playing it when I was younger, and I remember I hated it when I was younger. So yeah, don't need to do that. But yeah, so back to Crystal. Yeah, I like how they implement her in the games. I did not play Command because that's the third game she was in, and Command was on a DS. I did not have a DS. Maybe one day I'll get one and see what it's like. But for right now, I think I'm pretty good on this stuff. But I remember I had multiple endings, and one of them, I remember one of them, it had like the most edgiest of edgy endings, and the way it came about just made no sense, and it's pretty obvious why Star Fox Zero was a soft reboot for the series, because Star Fox Advance, Star Fox Command, I don't know why I said Advance, Star Fox Command was very much tonally disconnected and just added way too much unnecessary fluff to the series. And I'm hoping that the next Star Fox game they do, provided they don't go motion control heavy like they did with Zero, that I maintain that Zero is a decent enough game. I gotta pick it up one of these days, but from what I've seen of it, it is a decent enough game. It's held back by a oppressive need to use motion controls to sell its gimmick. And I feel like if they had toned that down, or at least given the option to play it normally, it would have been remembered as a very, very good game. But yeah, as that map was saying, you find these maps, and these maps will reveal all the hidden passageways that you can take through the through different areas. I'm gonna get a few of these maps real quick, because you are gonna end up having to buy all these maps. Like, I can already tell you that right now. You're going to have to end up buy all these maps, and it helps to just save up and go ahead and get out the way as fast as you can. Like, what I would recommend doing is, while you're in the opening areas, just grind up the amount of scarabs needed and buy all the maps from this person's first chance you get. But yeah, it's like you get around to it, and because one of the endings was like, you know, Fox and Crystal have a kid, you know. They're happily married, you know, that's pretty nice. And in one of the endings, she ends up turning rogue, joining Star Wolf, and calls herself Cursed. is either, if it's not cursed, it's some incredibly edgy name that's just like, why? Okay, so we're gonna need to get this one.
You pay this much.
No, I pay this much.
No,
Oh!
that's too low.
Alright, we'll pay this much.
Sell it to you.
And when you get right down to it, Star Fox really did not need the extra endings. I think, I want to say Assault was, for all intents and purposes, the best in the series in terms of how it handled its setting. How it handled its setting, how it handled its back history, what little of it there is, and how it handled its characters. So I'm hoping that if in the next one, because I'm fairly certain they're gonna make another Star Fox game, because Star Fox is way too popular of a series to just let die off after one lukewarm received game, and then having like one really well received cameo in another game to just up and kill off. I would say hopefully they bring in Crystal, that they go back to like pick a point between Assault and Command. Write Command out, since it's just so many multiple endings. Bring in Assault, you know, like bring it, put it after Assault, and bring in the extra characters from 2, like Miyu and Faye, and then just make a nice little fun story. Because I feel like a dark story, like what Assault did so soon after, probably wouldn't go down well, considering A, we live in an age where meme humor is rampant, and B, it's a little too soon to be playing it kind of edgy with a series about an anthropomorphic flying fox that shoots down lizards and whatnot. Yeah, we're gonna. So I'm sorry for this right now. We're gonna end the part off by buying all these maps. So you're probably gonna get sick of hearing this guy go, "You pay this much." And in the next one, we will definitely be making more story progress. Because if you don't, because I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way now, because I don't want to come back here too often to buy a whole bunch of freaking maps. And we're not going to get all the maps this time around, because I believe there are 3 I'm not going to be able to buy. And we'll come back for those later, but I just want to get as many out the way as I can, just to be covered, as it were. Because I promise you, I'm going to forget to buy these when I actually need to buy these. But yeah, so going off of that, like, what are your guys' favorite Star Fox games? I pretty much told you mine is Assault. Just because I like the story of the game. I like the gameplay. I like how they redid the Landmaster sections in a much more interesting way. What are y'all's? Do you like the oh, this is 10. Well, that's the last map we're getting for now. Like, do you like the original Star Fox as your favorite? Do you like the recently released Star Fox 2, which was unofficially released for years, but now is released? Wow, Star Fox is freaking weird. You like that one better? Do you like 64? Do you like the remake on the DS for 64? Do you like the remake on the Wii U for 64? That was known as Star Fox Zero. Do you like Assault? Or do you like Command? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But now that we have a map, you can see down there at the bottom, you have Thorntail Hollow. And you can use the D-pad to zoom in or out. I forgot to mention that that you can hit on the D-pad to have it reveal to you different locations. Different locations, but like a scanner that will indicate to you where you can find energy cells. You have 16 cells, which should be fine. But this time around, we're going to have to head back to the Snowhorn Waste, I believe, and we will do that in the next one. I'm sorry for having 2 back-to-back episodes where not a whole lot happened, but from here on out, I'm going to try to keep the action, well, to keep our story progress and to keep our item progress high and consistent and come in as quick as possible. But in the meantime, I've been a Nazi. This has been Star Fox Adventures. You've been awesome, and I'll catch you later.